Coming to you live from the World Economic Forum on Africa at the Cape Town International Convention Centre. The theme of this year's meeting is Shaping Inclusive Growth and Shared Futures in the Fourth Industrial Revolution. So business leaders, academics, world and regional leaders are all gathering in Cape Town to try and unpack this topic and what it really means. Of course, the World Economic Forum doesn't happen outside of a South African context, and an issue that's on the minds of many is one, the relations between people from our continent in South Africa and what's taking place there, and also the issue of women. When it comes to the Fourth Industrial Revolution and technology, the International Telecommunications Union says less than a quarter less of women have access to the internet, which means they have less access than men when it comes to the internet, access to information and access to upskilling. The ramifications of that is that women are set to get left further behind when it comes to the economy, because already we know that women in general in South Africa, on the continent and on the rest of the world are paid less, and then when it comes to unpaid labor, carry more of a burden. So when we're speaking about the Fourth Industrial Revolution over the next few days here, that's an issue that's going to be top of mind for many people, how to make sure women don't get further left behind. Of course, delegates are starting to come into the centre now. The sessions haven't quite begun, but we have with us the Commissioner for Trade and Industry for the African Union Commission, Mr. Albert Muchanga. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News. Could you talk to us about what it means for the AU to be represented here and what you hope to achieve over the next few days?
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be with you this morning. The issue of inclusiveness, the issue of the Fourth Industrial Revolution are very pertinent to the agenda of the African Union, with what we call African Union Agenda 23. It covers all these elements. So when we bring it to this forum, we're able to share experiences from a range of stakeholders, like you said, academia, business leaders and African leaders, which is very, very good. When we have a meeting of minds, then you know how to move. You move together, you align your interventions so that the results that come out of the interventions are superior compared to what they would have been if we had acted in isolation.
What would you say to a viewer who's wondering about if there needs to be another talk shop, another coming together of people from all over the world in positions of power who discuss things that may not filter down to an ordinary South African or an ordinary African?
Well, it looks very abstract and it's being arranged in this way, and some of the issues are very technical, very difficult to understand. But you can narrow it down. For us, at the level of the African Union, we have narrowed it down to the African Continental Free Trade Area. In that process, we are creating a large market, bringing together all the 55 African Union member states. And some of the programs that will come from there have to do with the Fourth Industrial Revolution, issues of e-commerce. And even the payment system that we are going to be using are going to be based on electronic. We are creating a digital payments and settlement platform. And the people to benefit most from the digital payments and the settlement platform are the small-scale cross-border traders, because they'll be able to be mainstreamed and they'll be able to move across and get paid in local currency and increase their business. So there's going to be a direct benefit at the grassroots level.
There are protests in South Africa now. There is looting taking place in different parts of the country, and there's a sense that there is xenophobia that's taking place, and people from the rest of our continent are being attacked. There's even filtered down perhaps into the World Economic Forum. We are hearing reports that are unconfirmed that some African leaders have pulled out of the World Economic Forum due to the violence that's taking place. Could you speak to us about this and the impact of how violence and not working together as a continent is going to move us away from those goals?
Well, at the level of the African Union has already condemned what is going on. It's an African, we need it to live together. When we are creating the African Continental Free Trade Area, we are creating one market. We are integrating all the people, and therefore there should be mutual tolerance, where a number of challenges can come in any given opportunity. Issue of sharing of resources can come up, but there are ways and the means of addressing those issues. So what I think the rest of Africa is expecting from the authorities in South Africa that they will take steps to arrest all those who are involved and prosecute them. When that is done, it will be a sign to the ordinary people that if I do something wrong, I'll be prosecuted and I'll not do it.
Thank you so much for your time. Albert Muchanga, Commissioner for Trade and Industry of the AU Commission, joining us here at the World Economic Forum. We're going to continue giving you updates and giving you voices from people who are attending and participating, decision makers here. For now, it's back to you in studio.